Some stories, they just don't make any logical sense. They stick with you, leaving this big question mark behind. And today, we're going to dig into one of those stories. A real, documented account of a taxi driver whose most memorable fare was someone who apparently was never even there. So, this isn't just some spooky campfire story. This is what was reported by a guy whose whole reality got turned completely upside down one night. And to really understand how strange things got, we have to start right at the beginning. To really appreciate just how bizarre this night became, you first have to get a feel for the guy at the center of it all. He wasn't some thrill seeker, he was a veteran cab driver, a guy who lived by his routine, totally grounded in the day-to-day, or I guess the night-to-night. For 12 years, he'd been driving the same city streets. I mean, think about that for a second. That's over a decade of night shifts, thousands and thousands of passengers. He probably thought he'd seen everything there was to see. He was wrong. His life was basically on a loop. Same traffic lights, same quiet streets, the same rhythm of a city winding down. You get the picture. Nothing weird ever really happened. It was just a job. But on this one night, that comfortable, predictable loop he was living in was about to get completely shattered. And it all started with a single pickup. That one moment that took a totally normal night and just sent it spiraling into the unknown. Okay, so try to picture this. It's late, I mean really late, after 2 in the morning. The streets are pretty much deserted, and he sees a guy flagging him down near this old, kind of creepy railway bridge. Definitely not a normal spot to get a fare, but hey, a job's a job. The guy gives him the destination, Sector G10. The passenger himself was the first sign that something was off. He wasn't drunk, wasn't rowdy. He was actually really polite, well-dressed, and just unnervingly still. He sat in the back, not fidgeting, not looking at his phone, not even really looking out the window. He barely blinked, just sat there. So, you know how it is. The driver tries to break the weird silence with a little small talk. He asks him if it's been a long night. The passenger just kind of smiles and says this. For some people, the night never really ends. The driver just laughed it off, but that strange comment just sort of hung in the air for the rest of the ride. So they pull up to the destination. And what happens next? Well, this is the part that just defies all explanation. He gets to Sector G10, just like the guy asked. The trip's over. He does the same thing he's done thousands of times. Stops the meter, turns around to tell the passenger the total. It was just empty. The passenger was gone. Vanished. Not a sound, no warning, nothing. Just an empty space where a man had been sitting just a few moments before. And here's the thing, it's not just that he was gone, it's that it seemed physically impossible. The driver didn't hear a door open or close. He got out and looked around, no footsteps, nobody running away. But the detail that really gets you, the seatbelt in the back seat was still buckled. So the driver is completely shaken up. He needs a rational explanation, right? The next day, he goes straight to his company, hoping that their cameras and their tech could make sense of what he saw. But the company's records just made the whole thing even weirder. They pull the CCTV footage. And yeah, it shows his taxi stopping at the bridge. It even shows the back door opening and closing. But on camera, there's no one there. The footage just shows the driver talking to an empty back seat for the entire trip. And if that wasn't bizarre enough, his manager prints out the system receipt for the trip. You know, the one the computer generates automatically. And in the spot where a passenger's name would go, the system had somehow typed this in all by itself. Night traveler, one way only. An experience like that, it doesn't just go away. You don't just forget it. It leaves a mark. And this one fare, this one trip, changed the driver's life forever. The first thing he did was simple. He couldn't drive at night anymore. The darkness, the empty roads, they just felt different now. So he gave up the night shift for good. But the story doesn't even end there. Because even now, years later, when he drives past that same old railway bridge, sometimes he hears it. A faint but unmistakable click from the empty back seat, like an invisible passenger just buckled up. So what are you left with? You have this fundamental conflict between a person's real, lived experience and the cold, hard proof of technology. The cameras showed an empty car. The system logged a ghost. So what's real? Is it only what we can record and play back? Or can something be real, truly real, even if it leaves no trace behind?